Well, welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Tonight's episode is number 122, and today's date is June 11th, 2024. My name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm with AJ Royce.
Hello, everybody.
Well, welcome. We have it's going to be a little bit different today, whatever, in that we're seeing things and experiencing things, and we're going to go into that and not sure what the total result's going to be. I don't know how else to say it.
We're going to be sharing an experience that we had
not long ago.
Yeah.
Like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite powerful, so I feel like I'm still feeling the effects of it.
Yeah. So, because we get pretty spacey sometimes, when we tune in, actually often. And, with this happening, and again, we're going to go into it in just a few minutes, but you all might start feeling more spacey. And you're like, what the heck? I think you all know what we're talking about. Yeah, we laugh about it.
Yeah, well, just the way energies affect you. So different energies coming in.
You kind of feel like you're out there somewhere, and you are. But we're first going to share some of the words that came through with us tuning in to ourselves, basically. Some people call it channeling, but it's really tuning in to the higher vibrations of ourselves, our soul self, God self, source self, whatever you want to call it. And many times we do have beings that come and visit and give us information. But I have a feeling what happened today, we're seeing things, but it's also ourselves seeing this. So, with the big S and with our own physical, internal sixth sense. Does that make sense? Anyway, well, we're going to go ahead and share because we're like, we share this? And we're like, why not? So we're going to do it. So some of you may resonate. Others of you will say, what? And so I think we're saying both. This Royce and myself, if I can speak for you on that. So we're going to try to remember what happened today, and Royce has written some notes down, and I didn't, so I'm going to hope to remember some of the things that did come through and what we were seeing. So what an interesting day. So we know things are happening, and before we get started, they're happening on this earth. We're seeing all kinds of crazy things that don't make sense. Yet they make sense because it's the old leaving the planet. This old paradigm that serves us no longer. And that's really where we were getting into today.
Yeah, but it's, even though it's a little disconcerting while you're going through it, it's actually a very exciting time to be in the midst of, because things are changing. And we're seeing it firsthand, all of us. No exceptions.
Yeah, I'm still calling it crazy times because to me, and looking at it from my purview, it's like, it is crazy. It's like, what the heck? Why is this going on? Why is this? Blah, blah, blah. And then you can start seeing the patterns that are forming, and then you start seeing, oh, it is the fall of the cabal. It could be the fall of the deep state, and that needs to happen for us to move on because of the control mechanisms that have been in place for so darn long. And I believe, Royce, that you mentioned it's been 2 millennia, or 2,000 years of control.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that came through a couple of times ago, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a long time that we on Earth have been manipulated. So and we're like, what? But now I think we're seeing such craziness going on. It's like, is this manipulation? Are we believing that what we see in the news, or or what's coming out, be it on the news or the podcast or whatever? And it's like, it's hard to make sense of it all. And I often say, does this make sense? A lot of things are happening now. No, not really, but it does on the level that the Earth is making the changes and this stuff needs to go.
Yep.
Okay, all right, we're going to first share some of the, a little bit of the writings that we received. And as usual, I'm going to start off. I've got, I usually get a few words, and I got a new one. It does kind of make sense that we'll explain after a bit, because I looked it up and it's not there. But I got the word indiscriminate, and I got the word foretell, and then I got the word basicosity. I think you said it better than I did.
You said it fine.
Basicosity. Yeah. And then I got the word foreclosure. I'm like, well, I know what foreclosure is. So, and that's what, it's basically, when you're foreclosing a house, you can't afford it anymore, correct? Mm-hmm. Then the bank takes over. But on a larger scale, it's like it's really tearing down the old to bring in the new.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the words I received, and that is escalation, then an abrupt stop. Yeah. Now, those of you listening are going to have to fill in some of the blanks without, repeating all the words. I wasn't given all the words, but I could understand what was going on, and I think you will too. But again, I'm going to start over again. Escalation, then an abrupt stop. Stay vigilant, relaxed, and prepared as the end is near. It is not the end of humanity. It is the new humanity understanding their role in the takedown and bringing in the new day. Unrealized goals and expectations will falter. A great wave will envelop the earth. Keep that in mind of what we're going to talk about in just a bit. A great wave will envelop the earth. It will be felt by most. A new seeding is taking place. It is new in that what is coming is the realization of the never-ending story that you all are a part of. And that was it. So with the never-ending story, and when I received this information, I'm thinking, we are a story, and it never ends because, we're infinite. So finite in the physical, but infinite in our conscious and spirit. However, there's another way of looking at it, and that is the never-ending story, which is a movie that was made in 1984. The sequel, I believe, was 1990. So,
yeah, the never-ending story has to do with a society that is being gobbled up by the nothing.
A dark force.
Yes. And, just everything just disintegrating as if it never was. So if you look at our world today, it looks like we're going through that, like we're in the midst of being gobbled up by the nothing, by the darkness. But don't lose heart, because that's not the end of the story.
Not at all. Not at all. All right. Royce, please share.
Okay, this is what I got today. Stay close at hand. And this next line might be a little shocking to some, but this is what it is. The Trump is on the move. And I take that as, with the word "the" in front of it, it's like more than one. So, like a happening. Bury the old deeply. A new day begins. Avid avatar. Disclosure of sovereignty. Many hearts broken as the old is taken away. Many falter perfectly. Tell them to adjust. It will all be over soon. The old government is being taken down so the new one can take its place. A new one run by humans, not AI, but backed by wise counsel.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It really falls in line. We both got the word falter.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting. Now, we don't share until after we're done writing.
Yeah.
And so, getting the same word doesn't always happen, but similar ideas come forth.
Yeah.
That, this whole earth, we've talked over and over about this, but the earth is changing so much, and it's not going to look like what it does today. That doesn't mean that the plants are going to change the looks and stuff like that. Some of it might, but, I just thought about this, but years ago, when I was getting visions of the new earth, I was seeing everything much more lush, much more green. And so I knew I was looking at the future earth. When I'm talking about plants. Just everything just looked so healthy.
More alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you would expect with the darkness being gobbled up, instead of the darkness gobbling up everything else.
We're going to feel more alive.
Yes.
I guess a way of saying we are going to be more alive, even though we think we are, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to see it differently.
Yeah, it brings to mind a verse, a biblical verse, and death is swallowed up in victory. Kind of makes you think.
Yeah, it does. Death of the old. That doesn't mean necessarily death of the body, which goes along with what I got about, what was that? It's not the end of humanity. The end is near, but it's a new humanity. And so we're understanding our role in the takedown and bringing in the new day. And each of you listening, everybody is a part of the role. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So just remember the power that we already are, each one of us. And that's not power over another, but the power within.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the realization of we're with our evolution to Homo luminous, it looks like something different, but it's the same thing evolved.
Yeah.
We can't stay the same. There was something that I got a while back is we cannot de-evolve. We cannot. That goes against all the rules, it's not going to happen. So it looks like things going sour and like perhaps, entities trying to make changes to our DNA to make us look like we're de-evolving, but it's not going to happen. We can't do that.
We're too strong.
Yeah.
So
and the ones that are trying to do that are being exposed, and we can say hallelujah, And
that's happening. Shoot.
Now.
Yeah. Every episode we say, okay, what's happened now? But a lot of people are stepping back from office or being exposed to some of their nefarious deeds. And a lot more is going to come out. So I think a lot of us might be quite surprised or shocked, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and it's not just the United States. It's the entire globe.
No, definitely the entire globe.
Yeah, so that shows you something right there. We are definitely, all of us, here on planet Earth, evolving. Onward and upward.
Yeah.
It can't be stopped.
All right, we're going to go into what we were seeing earlier, and now I did see, trying to see what point I saw Quetzalcoatl again. And this is really after what we're going to explain to you in a moment, but I thought I'd throw this in right now. And we talked about, Quetzalcoatl City was basically a group, and they were here on Earth as part of the Aztecs. I forget the year they were here, because I had to look it up. But we talked about this in episode 107, and so that was back in November. And so Quetzalcoatl, if I say it correctly.
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl, okay.
That's all right.
Well, I was seeing him stand over Cuba, and I could see the red plumes, feathers coming out of his helmet, standing big and tall over Cuba. So that's all I know so far on that one. But back in November, actually it was late October, I got this information. They said, what is the new day we have often spoken of, and so that's what we're talking about right now. This is. They said a cyclone of information is being released, and as a rebuttal to the deep state and their antics, and said that release the info, we hear you say, but take your time to ingest the information. Much of it will be overwhelming for many of you. And so I think that's what's happening now. People are saying, what do you mean you lied to us all along? And it's making people angry.
Yeah.
But you know what? Take that anger and just start realizing time to let that go, because I'm seeing it, and it's like let it go and realize that something much more beautiful is coming along.
Yeah.
And they said the reason that they're coming here is to assist us with this. So that, I think, is there anything, just a moment here, looking at my notes. They said they did leave monuments and artifacts for us on our planet's surface, and some items in the caves. And so they're quite advanced beings, and they left some of those artifacts behind on purpose. But anyway, they said they had the ability to shake off the intruders, and so do you. So we've had that intruders, and that's what we're going to actually be talking more about in a moment. It just dawned on me. So this is all new. This all just happened. So we're expressing this and still trying to figure things out. And so some of it, as I'm speaking right now, is to figure out what's really going on. So, all right. Go ahead, Royce, and explain some of the things that we are seeing, please.
Well, we saw this golden light, and parts of this we can share, and parts of it we can't. So the very beginning of it we can't share. It has to do with something we've been working on, so that's all you need to know. But the part we can share is this, Bev made mention of this wave that was going to...
Well,
what?
Okay, I was seeing a beam of light, but, that was an activation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we saw the grid around the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And
underneath the grid is this wavy-looking thing. Looks like a sine wave. If you took a picture of a sine wave, a snapshot in time, stationary wave. So it's all the way around the Earth.
Yeah, we both saw it. And I saw it, and I said, well, I'm not going to tell you what I'm seeing. And he said, take a look and see what you see. I was saying undulating wave, up and down. And you said a sine wave. I said, exactly. That's what it is. Couldn't really see a direction,
No, because it didn't look like it was moving. It was just stationary, you
Yes.
know, holding that pattern
Yes.
that looked like a wave, a frozen wave.
Yeah.
But what I saw was it was golden in color, light, made of light. And you saw particulates in it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Seedings.
yeah, so we all seeds. Call it cedar. Some people call us cedars. Those that come, well, we all coming from other planets and seed this planet for the humanity. This is back when humans came to Earth, and then we've been messed with since. But doesn't mean we lost what we originally had.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. So we saw the sine waves, and then
You saw the ships
yeah,
outside of the grid.
huge spaceships, and I can't tell you where they were from or who they were, but I felt they were, maybe that's when Quetzalcoatl came in. I'm really not sure when he came into the picture, but I started seeing it. But they were huge ships, and they were shooting down beams of light into the grid.
Mm-hmm.
That was right next to the sine waves. The sine waves were underneath. It was unusual.
Yes, very, very unusual.
I've never
like
seen
a
that
layered
before.
system. You have the Earth surrounded by this wavy thing, and then outside the wavy thing, the grid,
Mm-hmm.
and outside the grid, these spaceships.
Yeah, and they were, pretty strong beams of, I saw as white light beaming into this grid, and I think the word ignition.
Yeah. Well, that came a little bit later.
Okay.
After they shot these shafts of light into the grid, from the grid there were shafts of light that went down to the Earth, and not just to the Earth, but into the Earth, down to the core, the ball at the center.
Yeah.
And that's when I heard the word ignition.
Okay.
And Bev has spoken before about the sun in the center of the Earth, and so we're thinking that that's the ignition of the core of the Earth turned into a sun.
That could be. I was starting to see that sun years ago, but when you start seeing this stuff, there's no timeline.
Yeah.
In what we call our physical time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that could have been, because then eventually I saw that whole thing change into that ruby core, which I mentioned in one of my books. I mean, it's wild, some of the things that we see, and it's like, what do you do with this?
Mm-hmm.
So, so the core was being ignited.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling that this whole thing, talking about today, getting, what was that? About a wave. Oh, yeah. They said a great wave will envelop the Earth.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, right. Sine wave.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Oh, that just...
It just dawned on me. I told you this is all new. It's like, okay, let's put this together. So it will be felt by most. So especially with the ignition into the core of the Earth, that our Earth is going to feel. I don't know if it's going to shudder. I don't know.
We don't know from there.
Yeah. So, but we thought we'd share with you all, and if any of you listening have felt some of what we're talking about or seen some of this, it's like, wow, okay.
I felt extremely spacey, and I felt like I was looking through wavy golden light. Very unusual experience that lasted, and I still feel a little spacey from it. But there was something else that I was going to say, and it just kind of
Left.
departed.
The word I mentioned earlier, basicity, and I was like, okay, what the heck's that? I looked that up, and no such word in at least in my dictionary in the phone. But it does make cosity. It's like a gel. I mean,
viscosity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a thickened, liquidy kind of formula. But if you combine hydrogen, you looked up from what was it? The word. What's the next one?
Foreclosure?
No, basicality. Wasn't it basicality or something like that?
Basicity.
Yes,
like
basicity. Yeah, it had to do with increased hydrogen
in an acid or something like that. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, and if you put that together with viscosity, it's like a whole different compound coming about.
Or leaving.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Because it's like thicker. And to me, it's just like the darkness is leaving. Well, we talked about this for I don't know how long actually since we've been doing podcasts, but the darkness leaving the earth, and it's definitely happening. But shoot, they're rearing their ugly head right now. Or is it all being played out so it wakens us to that knowledge that it's being dealt with?
Yeah, meaning the darkness.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, how about that?
yeah, as you can tell, we're trying to wrap our heads around what we experienced today, and it's going to take a little bit of time before it integrates.
Exactly. We're asking for more information. Then we were just like nothing happened.
Yeah, that wave of energy hit us so hard, we just zonked out. I could every time I tried to close my eyes to meditate, and this was happening to you too, we just went out.
Yeah, like asleep.
Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah.
But it was after this happened that I saw that it was like an archway, wide archway, and at the keystone at the top was the likeness of Quetzalcoatl, and I heard Quetzalcoatl returns.
That's what brought that on.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then seeing him over Cuba, I mean, it's like huge. So, I don't know if that's going to be if he's here because of some of the Russian ships that are now parked around Cuba. At least that's what's being told to us. Is it happening? I don't know. I'm not there with my eye on him.
But it is interesting that he would be there at Cuba.
Cuba, yeah. That's where it came to me back in November. He also mentioned Chichen Itza in Southwest United States, Bolivia, Peru, and Eastern Africa. I believe I mentioned Western Africa, but it was Eastern Africa. So, that's what I was told back in November. But today was really strong in Cuba. He's a big guy. I mean, or at least the spokesperson for the group. Look like a big guy. So not sure how that's going to happen. So we'll find out. All right. well,
we said it was going to be a little different today.
Definitely different. So so we may get some more information. If so, we're most happy to share with you. And if any of you that are listening pick up on what we're talking about, we appreciate your input.
Yeah, but it's like things are coming in fast and furious now because things are changing so fast.
They are.
So we've spoken for years about how there's coming a time when the when the darkness was going to be exposed for what it was, and we're in the midst of it, in the hot seat with it. So we're seeing it all play out, and shoo, man, it's like, hold on to your seats. You know, this ride's pretty wild.
Yeah, it is. It is. But do keep in mind, I don't think it's going to last long. It's just getting through these times, but feeling this golden energy that's out there. You all might be feeling this too. It may make you tired like it did us. And it also helps calm you.
Yeah.
It might feel spacey,
yeah,
but it's also calming. And if you need to sleep a little more, allow yourself to do so. In other words, don't fight it.
Yeah, because, you know, we are trying to adjust to what we are becoming. And so allow your bodies to make that adjustment in as kind a way as possible by giving it what it needs. If you're what you intake for food, if that changes, then pay attention to that. Give your body what it is calling out for.
That means listen to it.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. And you're welcome to share this. Please share, because it's going to touch, I think it's going to touch quite a few people. And getting that now, and it needs to be heard. And then we'll continue on. I don't know. We do this every 2 weeks. And it just came to me. If we need to do something sooner, we will. And we'll post that. But it's usually, again, every 2 weeks, because our next episode is going to be June 25th. And, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see if we need to wait that long, or we'll have to see.
Yep.
No, we don't know. But thank you for listening, and do like and share. We appreciate that. And comment?
Yes, we do appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you, and we love you, and you have some parting words.
I just appreciate everybody who is here for staying for so long. We've been working hard on this wonderful awakening process for the entire globe and all life everywhere. And so I just want to say thank you so much for your hard work, for sticking to it, and for staying. I love you.
I love you. Good day, and enjoy the ride.
Goodbye.
Bye.